So finally tonight, one thing that the Cuomo administration was infamous for was keeping information under wraps, even when it was something that was supposed to be available publicly.
Yeah, reporters have run into this problem again and again trying to cover the last administration. So how much will that change moving forward? Let's bring in our next guest, who needs no introduction. Jim Heaney is editor for Investigative Post, our nonprofit partners. Jim, I think you've done open records requests since before I was born, so you know a thing or two about this. We appreciate you being here.
Yes, I have, whippersnapper.
And Jim, you really butted your head against the wall for years with this. The Investigative Post broke the first big scandal story involving the governor with the Buffalo billion bid rigging. So give us a sense of the battles that you've had to fight here.
I've been a reporter a long time, as my gray hair will attest to, and I have never dealt with an administration that is so obstinate when it comes to releasing public information. Refusal to grant interviews, refusal to release information, refusal to honor freedom of information requests, and then there's the lying. Cuomo and his folks, the culture that he inherited, which was not friendly to transparency, got exponentially worse under Andrew Cuomo. And he's far from the only one who plays that game. You see that now in Buffalo, in City Hall, in the Buffalo Board of Education. But the Cuomo administration took it to a new low, shall we say.
Jim, we only got an 11-minute speech today from Kathy Hochul, right? It was very precise, yet among the things she talked about was reform to the FOIL, the Freedom of Information law here in New York State. Were you surprised by that, and what specifically do you think needs to change?
Well, state government needs to follow the law, which would be a novel idea for many people in government, but again, especially state government. The law lays out deadlines for when agencies have to respond. Those deadlines need to be honored, and instead of being used as a way to delay the release of information, they need to be honored as a way to speed the release of information. I think Hochul has a heavy lift ahead of her because, again, the problem with secrecy preceded Andrew Cuomo. It got worse under Andrew Cuomo. And a lot of the public information officers who Cuomo employed are presumably still on the job. So those folks either have to get the memo real quick or they need to be replaced.
With that in mind, Jim, I guess the natural question is, how optimistic are you that things really will be different, that Governor Hochul can really set a different tone and really follow through with it? Is that possible, or is it kind of wishful thinking, do you think?
Well, I think things are bound to get better. It's kind of addition by subtraction. Whether or not we become the model of transparency that myself and a lot of reporters, a lot of members of the public wish we were, I'm not terribly optimistic about that. Things will get better, but I don't expect they're going to get especially good. I hope I'm wrong.
We hope you're wrong too, Jim. I don't often say that, but certainly a lot of work to be done on this area. I mean, you can talk to any reporter in the state of New York, and the frustration just builds on itself year after year. It has certainly not been good during the past administration in terms of transparency. The new governor talks about it a lot. We'll see what actually changes. We appreciate you coming on. Jim Heaney is editor with Investigative Post, our nonprofit partners. Jim, good to see you.
Thanks.
All right, and thank you everybody for joining us for this special edition of our Town Hall at 5:30.
Yes, thank you, friend. We hope you'll text us your questions or comments to 716-849-2220.